So, what's in it for me? That's a question everybody should be asking when they're talking about joining a church or considering, exploring Christian faith in general. What's in it for me? That's a natural question. And I hope to answer that in a way that is relevant and also ancient and traditional all at the same time. And that's what we're talking about this week.
Hello, all. I'm the Mad Pastor, and Christianity sucks. It's boring, it's out of date, it's irrelevant, but it doesn't have to be. Let me explain why.
So, we are in the middle of a series about membership vows when it comes to joining a United Methodist Church. And these membership vows are old and they have kind of old timey language. And I thought we should unpack some of that. So, this is one of the vows. This is, what is it, the third one? I can't remember. To remain faithful members of Christ's holy church and serve as Christ's representatives in the world. And so, what does that actually mean? To remain faithful members of Christ's holy church. Well, to enlighten us a little bit, I thought we would look at some scripture. So I am reading from 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 12 through 14. This is a letter written by Paul to the church in Corinth that sounds like this. For just as the body is one and has many members, and all the members of the body, though many, are one body, so it is with Christ. For in the one Spirit we are all baptized into one body, Jews or Greeks, slaves or free, and we were all made to drink of one Spirit. Indeed, the body does not consist of one member, but of many. So this is an analogy that Paul uses often, where he talks about the church as a body with Christ as the head and all of us serving various different parts of the body. And I think what he's getting at whenever he uses this is that the body is a diverse group of members. So there's an eyeball that does specifically eyeball things. There's a nose that does specifically nose things. There's toes and feet and gallbladders and internal organs, and all of them serve different functions. And a heart cannot be a hand, and an eye cannot be a foot, that kind of a thing. But all together, we make up a holistic community. So it's both celebrating our unity and our diversity all at once. And I dare say that the church has had a bad habit recently in history of making it a homogenous, we're all the same type of body rather than a diverse and all are welcome body. It's a thing we've lost, this idea of grace and everyone belongs at the table. So the first part of this membership vow about being a faithful member of Christ's holy church is about bringing your uniqueness, your diverse individuality, and finding how it fits into the community to make up one unified body with the head as Christ. We're all following Jesus, but also we're going to come at that different ways. For a hand, following Jesus is grabbing real good. For a heart, following Jesus is pumping real good. For you, what does following Jesus in this community mean? So here's why community matters, because there's a lot of talk out there about how you can just do this faith journey on your own, and that is not true. You need other people. Other people must be a part of your faith. That is part of this membership vow. So let's take a look at this recent phenomenon that is on the rise called boredom. Now, when I say recent, I do mean historically, because when you had to sow your fields and plant crops and harvest and then you had to, do all the threshing for your wheat, and you didn't really have a lot of time to get bored. Boredom only happened after people got rich and they could pay everyone to do that. And then they were like, what am I going to do with all my time? We, in modern times, have many, many, many opportunities to be bored because we don't have a lot of things that we must do in order to survive. I don't have to plant crops. I go down the street to the supermarket. I go to Walmart or Publix and I can buy broccoli and bread that's already been made. I don't even have to make my own bread if I don't want to. We have a lot of opportunity for boredom in our community. And what is boredom? Well, I'm going to link a video that kind of told me all this stuff. That's a very, very helpful video, and that'll be in the description below. But here's the gist of it. Boredom is the combination of it's a lack of purpose and a lack of connection, and also not really knowing what to do with that. The dog is going crazy with his toy.
Having a good time?
So here's the thing. Boredom is actually more difficult than people make it out to be. It is a painful experience. And evolutionarily speaking, boredom serves a very important purpose because it gets us off our butts. It gets us to do the things we need to do in order to thrive and in order to grow ourselves as, well, quite frankly, as disciples of Jesus, but as more fully fleshed out human beings. Now, here's the problem. Nowadays, we have ample distraction. And I use the word distraction on purpose because most people can satiate their boredom by turning on Netflix, pulling up their phone, playing Candy Crush, swiping through TikTok. And here's the problem. That activity satiates our boredom, but it doesn't actually cure our boredom. So it's a little bit like having a rash. If you have a rash, it itches and you scratch it. Well, that's going to make the itch stop for that moment while you're scratching it, but it's also going to spread the rash. And now you've got the whatever's causing the rash on your arm and on your fingers, and then you're going to do this. Now you've got it on your head, and now and the rash is going to spread. The underlying cause of the itch is not being cured if you just scratch it. In fact, most of the times the cure is to not scratch that itch. Most of the times the cure is to treat the underlying problem. So boredom is the itch. It's the feeling you have when you scratch that itch by using TikTok and Netflix and all the different things, you pick your poison. When you do that, you're not really treating the underlying cause of the illness. You're just treating the symptoms. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not here to be judgmental or puritanical. Like, whenever I go on the toilet, I'm looking at Instagram videos. I'm satiating my boredom. I'm scratching my itch. I have lots of times when I'm just like zoning out, watching Netflix or whatever. So I'm not here to judge that behavior. What I'm here to say is that the church is actually a cure for the underlying cause of boredom. Boredom is cured through connection and through a sense of purpose, through community, through genuine empathy and being seen while seeing others. Those are the things that cure boredom, and they don't happen naturally. They have to be practiced. And that's why this is a vow. It's something you commit to, because it's not going to be easy to put down the phone and talk with the people around you. But we've already seen this in schools. There are lots of schools who are making kids lock up their phones before they go into class. And every teacher that I've spoken to or read about online and heard personal testimonies, every single teacher says, oh my gosh, my kids are suddenly curious. They're suddenly engaged. They accomplish their classwork. And when they're done, they actually talk with each other and they experience genuine in-person community. And it's helpful and it's healthy and it's good for us. Now, the church, following Jesus, giving us a purpose to actually love our neighbors and our neighborhood, to be a member of the community that is not only present, but also a blessing. Now that's a purpose. Now that's something we can devote ourselves to. And all of a sudden, you're not scratching the rash anymore. You're actually applying ointment. You're treating the underlying cause of the rash. You're curing the disease that's causing you to itch. That's what this membership vow is all about. Not to mention the fact that being with other people is the best way to actually practice discipleship, because it takes time to build those bonds. So I want to look at another piece of scripture. This is from Proverbs chapter 27. Proverbs is a book of like wisdom sayings. And this is just one little verse that you may have heard before. Iron sharpens iron, and one person sharpens the wits of another. You can't do this alone, because if you do it alone, you're never being sharpened. You're never coming into any type of conflict. You're never coming into any type of disagreement. And if you never do that, then you never learn how to grow from it. You never learn how to maintain the relationship despite disagreement. You never learn how to hold your own values while being next to someone who holds different values. These are all important lessons, and they're a part of practicing discipleship. So you can't just sit alone and be in nature and say your prayers in order to have an authentic relationship with God through Jesus. You have to do it as a part of community. You have to be tested and tried by other people. And the other people will give you meaning and purpose and thriving health as a disciple much more than TikTok or Netflix or Hulu or whatever. So commit to being a part of a community. Get up and go to worship with other people. Join a small group, participate in a Bible study, and commit to be there every single week. Do it, and you will no longer be bored, at least not as much as you are right now. You will start to treat the underlying disease of boredom, and you will no longer be scratching the itch that it causes. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you no longer boredom. We call it peace. Amen.